Good morning, YouTubers. Welcome once again to the eastern wing of the Stinkbug Works, where you are going to be subjected to yet another unedited, unscripted, unrehearsed, unwarranted, unprofessional, uncompromising video from the Ed Wood of the YouTube model boat community, none other than Dr. Jet. Anyway, I told Oliver Seiss of H&M Marine, Hydro and Marine, that I would do a build sequence on this hull, and so I want to give a shout out to H&M and Oliver Seiss. He built this really nice, really little hull for me. Anyway, I've progressed a little bit. I've installed a servo and a water cooling run up to the forward part of the boat. A couple things about the water cooling. The hose has to go right between these little support arms. You see where the nipple is? You don't really have a choice. Hang on, I need jet juice. And so you got to squeeze a hose between there. So I've got a real thin-walled hose, as thin as I can get. The pickup itself is pretty darn small. So, that's not going to be that big of a deal. So in mounting the servo and the water piping, I stuck a piece of carbon fiber in there. Why did I do that? Well, when you put in a flood chamber, you essentially build a stringer along the entire length of the hull, and that increases the structural rigidity of this side. So this side of the boat's real stiff, and this side was kind of flimsy. It's just real thin carbon Kevlar. Yeah, you can push on it and it'll bend. So a couple pieces of shear webbing, let's say, for lack of a better term, some shear webbing in there, and not only does it give me a place to hold my servo above the bilge so it's not sitting in water, it stiffens the hull and it gives me a place for my water cooling. So there you go, we're making some progress. As you can see, I'm not doing anything on the motor mount and the stuffing tube. And the reason for that is I don't have the motor coupler, and I need the motor coupler to put everything together to see where everything fits, and if it needs adjusting, make adjustments now. So I really can't proceed until I get that motor coupler. Stand by for more jet juice. Now, some of you may say, oh, you've locked yourself in on the cooling runs. You're forced to run here. Well, that's okay. That's okay. I have several different cooling jackets. So I have several different arrangements I can use on the motor, and I have some leeway with the motor, and I'm going to be well underneath it. So I can go from here to the speed control first and then deal with the motor, or we'll see as the exact motor location is known. As of yet, nobody knows exactly where that motor is going to go. I like to put my receivers far away from the bottom of the boat. I like to keep them, if the boat fills up with water, I like the receiver as far away as I can. So, with these little boats, it's also kind of out of the way, and I don't mind having the leads come up to the hatch. I'll just keep the hatch right there. So my plan here is I'll just take a little hot melt glue and tack the receiver up there. And you got to run the antenna out because this carbon fiber, even though it's not 100% covered, that's a Faraday cage. And it keeps all the radio noise inside, and all the radio noise outside, and you want to be on the outside. So there you go. Oh, one last thing I thought I'd share with you. As you can see, I figured out a way to mount the little ball end joint. Believe it or not, inside this arm is a threaded insert. Yes, I made a threaded insert that fit in that hole, an M2 threaded insert. So there's an insert in there, and now this is all snug. But with this sloping transom, how are you going to seal? See, that'll go right under that hose. It was almost as if somebody planned it that way. How are you going to seal this? And I have a great idea. I'm not going to mount this in the transom. I'm going to mount this in this piece of carbon fiber tube, and then I'm going to drill a larger hole through here and put the carbon fiber tube through there. This accomplishes several things. One, I get a good seal, and two, because this swings through an arc, the push rod moves this way as it moves that way. It kind of swings like this. So it's not going in a direct line, so it can't go through a perfectly straight hole. So a larger hole allows more movement. Well, guess who's got the larger hole here? So I'm going to cut about half of this off and epoxy that into here, and then have about, that much. I might stick it out beyond that Delrin block just to clear things, so that way I could get some tight clearances. We'll see. But that's going to be the plan. My push rod's going to go through here, and the water seal will be in this carbon fiber tube. What do you guys think of that idea? Okay, there you go. There's the latest inventing things and making stuff from the Stink Bug Works. Until next time, boys and girls, jet out.